Let's get creative.
Sharing life, richer blessing, sharing time, richer reflections. Chazak biyachad, we're better. We are rich men together. Rich men together. Community and family go hand in hand. There for each other through the tears and joy. Shevet Achim we stand. Sharing life, richer blessing, sharing time, richer reflections. Chazak biyachad, we're better. We are rich men together. Rich men together. Every day is a chance to learn how to hold our hope, to be creative and compassionate, leave no one alone. Sharing life, richer blessing, sharing time, richer reflections. Chazak biyachad, we're better. We are rich men together.
We've gotten very creative with how we connect.
How fortunate we are that we're in a position to be able to help when others are struggling.
I think it was so touching that strangers and people in the community would reach out and say, whatever you need, I'm here for you. If it's your month's rent, if it's your groceries.
Community means family. Those two words go hand in hand for me.
I know I tried to call people, just have a list every couple weeks just to talk to them and have compassion and understanding. I think our community did a great job of reaching out to people.
We were able to connect with like more people around the region rather than just our chapters, and I really enjoyed that.
Really kind of an awakening to how much we need each other.
We learned we had to make an effort to participate differently.
We had to reach out to hear other people's voices.
We Richmonders really step up.
Federation was there.
Connect with people that we never did before.
I think it broadened everybody's appreciation of that.
She stole my words.
I love that.
Kehila, Kedosha. Stepping up, reaching out. Sharing life.
This song would have never existed had it not been for us meeting you and spending a little bit over an hour in this little creative process.
The endless opportunities.
Connections were made on a more deeper basis.
Thank you all for spending the evening with us.
We are a family. We are together. We are a community.
Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
Hello, everyone. My name is Susan Adolph, and I'm here with Beth Weiner and Lynn Zinder. And Shalom and good evening. It is our honor to welcome you to the 87th annual meeting of the Jewish Community Federation of Richmond. How special it is to be back together and at the same time welcoming so many friends virtually. Tonight, we have the honor of celebrating the remarkable and impactful work of Federation. Its volunteer leaders and professionals who work tirelessly on behalf of our community. We also get to celebrate our friends, Ella Renee and Amy. It's going to be a fun night. The past few years have tested our community in new and challenging ways. We are blessed with a group of professionals who have led not only their organizations, but our community with strength, grace, and dignity. Our agency executives are simply the best around, and we are lucky to have each of you here. On behalf of our community, thank you for your leadership, enthusiasm, and vision. Please stand so we can say thank you.
Equally special is our relationship with our community synagogues. They are our spiritual home and each play a vital role in connecting us to our history and our future. They are led by a group of rabbis who share a common vision for our community, one where everyone is included, engaged, and fulfilled. I ask that our synagogue rabbis stand and accept our deepest thanks for your work and guidance.
Our community is blessed to have strong support and partnership from dedicated public officials at the local, state, and federal level. They share our passion for community and our dedication to improving life for everyone. Joining us tonight are Senator Jennifer McClellan, Senator Ghazala Hashmi, Delegate Betsy Carr, and former delegate Lashreesh Ayard. Along with us tonight, representing our partners at the Henrico Sheriff's Office, is Colonel Tyrone Montague. We thank them for their service and steadfast support.
Powering our work and maximizing the impact we can have on the community is a core value of our Federation. Thanks to the generosity of our corporate partners, we are able to hold outstanding programs and increase our impact. We are grateful to each of the corporate partners who are here with us tonight. Davenport Investments, Strauss Itzkowitz and LeCompte Insurance, Dominion Payroll, and Allianz.
Just a quick word about my personal experience with Federation. For me, the word Federation became part of my vocabulary when I was in Club 6, which was for sixth graders here at the JCC. Bee Fine came to visit us, and she told us about Federation and what it did and who it supported. That any amount of money donated to the campaign was a gift, tzedakah. From that day in 1965 until now, I have made a pledge to our Federation. I've seen where the money goes, and we all benefit from it. Thank you to our Federation. It is now my distinct honor to welcome Rabbi Alicia Paul, the incoming head of school of RTA, to share an invocation.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm very honored to be here. Before I begin, I just want to say, thank you to Daniel Stauffenberg, who is, by the way, one of the most famous heads of federations in the country, as I found out by all the people I knew in Charleston and all over. Like, oh, Daniel's there. So I guess it's... I also want to say congratulations to the outgoing president, Ellen Renee Adams, and congratulations as well as, I don't want to say condolences, but you know, it's going to be hard. It's a lot to work on, and the truth is it's a thankless task sometimes to work for the community, but it's probably the most important job one can have, to be giving of oneself to others. And so, all kidding aside, I want to just say mazel tov to Amy Nissenson for stepping up. I assume the little kid pictures there was like a pact, well, if you go, I'll go type of thing, but whatever the reason is, it's really, it's impressive when people step up, and it's the greatest education that you can give the next generation is by demonstrating by example. You know, Gandhi said, be the example you want to see others emulate. That's education. You could tell kids anything, but they watch what we do. So leading by example is wonderful, and I look forward to many years of success together. I'd like to say a brief few words of invocation. You know, I think traditionally there are two models of philanthropy historically in the Jewish community. I would call one very localized and one very global. In fact, I believe in most synagogues, there's a special prayer said right after the Torah service, where we say, Kol mi she'osek b'tzarchei tzibur be'emunah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalem Secharam, which means in English, anybody who works for the community, God gives special blessings, because frankly, taking your time away from your family, taking your resources away from things you could be doing otherwise, it's something that is appreciated and divinely rewarded. However, I remember when I was interviewing for the job here, I noticed a slight variant. I'm a big into texts. There's a different version. It doesn't say whoever works for the community, Tzibur, is rewarded. It says Tziburam in the Vilna Gaon Siddur. The Rabbi Elijah of Vilna's version of the text of this prayer that we say every week in synagogue is whoever works not for the community, but for their own community, which is very different. And this tension between global versus local is always at the backdrop of what's going on in communal things. Do we spend more time with our family? Do we spend more time with the community? Do we spend more of our resources on personal issues? Do we spend more things on global issues? And it's always a struggle to know what to do. Truthfully, it seems to me that Maimonides, he asks a question that I think illustrates one side of this conundrum is more important than the other. Maimonides is very famous for his multiple levels of charity. The highest level of charity is, you know, someone doesn't need to take charity. The next is anonymous, et cetera, et cetera. But there's something that's very, I'm going to ask you a Talmudic question tonight. Let's say you have the ability to give $1,000 to a worthy cause. Is it better, and I'm going to ask for a show of hands. You didn't know there was going to be a test, did you, right? If you have $1,000 to give to a charitable cause, would you say it's better to give one gift of $1,000 to one worthy cause, or $1,001 gifts or $110 gifts, more small gifts to numerous causes? Who would say that it's better to give the one gift of $1,000 to one cause? Raise your hand. Okay. Who says it would be better to give multiple gifts to numerous organizations? Interesting. A little more said the second than the first. Well, actually, Maimonides says it's better to give smaller gifts more times because it trains us to become altruistic givers. And when we are training ourselves to become givers, we'll end up giving net more over the course of time. It's also, as we said at the beginning, the best way to model altruism for our children and those around us to emulate. So it seems that the federation model, which has gone through many iterations over the decades and almost reinvented itself in many ways, is the model. And I think there's another important benefit to it, and that is we can all start at a certain point to have blinders on and only seeing what we call in the Talmud our own Daled Amot, our own 4 L's, our own, you know, just a little bit around us, but that's it. When you're in a federation model where everyone has to worry about everyone else, not only do we fulfill the idea of Kol Yisrael Ravin Zebazeh, everyone's responsible for everyone else, but we get out of our own box. And I believe my model of the ideal Jewish community, which Richmond, I believe, is closer to than many others. We have way too many sandboxes. I happen to prefer to go to the beach. It is my blessing that we all go to the beach together.
I am so proud to be able to stand up here as we pass the torch from one of my good friends to another. Ellen Renee has been an inspiration for us all. For years of hard work leading our community, which included building our security infrastructure, continuous fundraising, grant making, making new programs, and most important, mentoring young women. I think Ellen Renee's proudest moment was creating the Pearl Society. It is amazing that even after all of this, she can only thank our community with the gift that they gave her of these 4 years. Amy, I know you have a hard act to follow, but with your unique talents, you will take the Federation to a new level.
I have watched Ellen Renee since she was a youngster because she's much younger than me. I've watched her be an ambassador for our Richmond Jewish community and thrive on learning as much as she could about how to keep Judaism alive and well in Richmond. From my children being in her wedding and Lewis's wedding too, to traveling to Israel together, to serving on agency boards, I've seen you grow into the face and voice of the Federation of Richmond, and it makes me so proud. She has led us well and pulled herself and the whole community through some very tough times. We are seeing the fruits of your labor in a strong Jewish community now, and for that, we should all say thank you. Ellen Renee, your leadership and commitment to our community serves as an inspiration to so many. Please enjoy this upcoming video messaging from some of your family, friends, and mentors.
Hu haya omer, im ein ani li mili, usha'ani la'atzmi ma'ani, ve'im lo achshav imatai.
If I am not for me, who will be for me? And when I am for myself alone, what am I? And if not now, then when?
You are the definition of a Lion of Judah. You are a strong woman and an activist who deeply cares about the Jewish future. You inspire everyone around you.
You motivate people to get involved. You lead the community by educating on what's most important, and you have a heart of gold.
I am honored, humbled, and most of all lucky to be able to call you my mom.
And of course, my favorite mother-in-law.
I aspire to give back to the Jewish community the way you have. You have taught me to be proud to be Jewish. You are a true inspiration and the best role model. We love you.
We're excited to wish you a mazel tov upon completing your term as president of Federation. You did an incredible job leading our community, and we're proud to call you our friend and past president.
Ellen Renee, I'm so delighted to have this opportunity to give you a kol hakavod and let you know that you are a terrific leader. You've developed over the years more and more and more in a stronger leader that led with alacrity and purpose. And for that, the community is better off. Thank you, Ellen Renee.
Mazel tov.
You, Ellen Renee, are the epitome of a woman of valor. I'm so proud of all that you've done over the years with your life, and I'm sure you will continue to do for others. Your statue is small, but your heart is so big. I love you. Your daddy loved you. We're both proud of you. And always, always, I wish you Nakas, because you really, truly must have created that word. You are a woman of valor.
As you can see, I'm sending this message from sunny Florida. I'm the second sister, and that hasn't been easy. Ella Renee is a very hard act to follow. She was always the good child, kind, considerate, keeping curfews, playing by the rules. You get it. Not so much me, at least the playing by the rules part. But Ella Renee always looked out for me and included me. We were roommates for a good portion of our lives. We are very opposite in many aspects of our personality and our lives. She likes speaking in public. I do not. But we have mutual respect for each other. As I hear about what Ella Renee has overcome and accomplished during her 4-year tenure at the Federation, my respect turns to admiration. My sister must have superpowers because she does it all with very little sleeping. Her strength comes from her family, her friends, and her community. She is fearless when it comes to helping others. Ella Renee is a fighter. She's had a lot of obstacles thrown her way, but it hasn't stopped her, just made her fight harder. I couldn't be more proud of her, and I'm so fortunate to be here to help her celebrate this honor. I love you.
Mazel tov, Tanti. You are the kind of lay leader that I, as a Jewish nonprofit professional, always wish to work with. And Vinny absolutely loves being on Zoom calls with you. I hope they won't end, but he will miss them if not.
Mazel tov.
Ellen Renee. Passion, compassion, and inclusion. That is how you have led our Federation for the last 4 years. Our community is indebted to you for the patience, perseverance, and affection with which you have guided us. I appreciate that you included me among the voices you sought out during your tenure. Whenever you called, you conveyed the importance of the matter. You shared your insights and observations. You energetically sought out many perspectives on all sides of the issues, and you listened carefully. You created an environment where all members of our community could be heard, and you led us to sound and fair decisions. You have demonstrated grace under pressure repeatedly, for there have been many challenges over the last 4 years. Yet you remained undaunted, meeting each challenge as it has arisen, and turned those challenges into opportunities to grow and strengthen our community. Ella Renee, for your leadership, your many strengths, and your friendship. Thank you and congratulations.
Mom, growing up, you're always going to this meeting or that meeting, and I knew you were doing something good for the Jewish community, but I didn't know exactly what it was you were doing. Coincidentally, I moved back to Richmond 4 years ago, just as you were being installed as president. Through my job at the JCC and my involvement with the Federation, I got to see firsthand what you had been doing all these years. I was amazed. And then you were diagnosed with cancer and a pandemic hit, and you still kept going. You amazed me even more. As a first daughter of the Federation, I realized that I had the unique opportunity to learn from the best. So over the last 4 years, I watched, I listened, and I asked questions. And here's some of the lessons that you taught me. Most importantly, you have to show up. Put your money where your mouth is. No job is too small. Sometimes you need to listen and not talk. You don't have to have all the answers. Honor your commitments, and if a volunteer role or committee doesn't seem like a good fit for you, it's okay to turn it down. It doesn't do you or the organization any good if you don't put in the effort. Mom, I'm not sure where your journey takes you next, but I know that whatever you do, it's gonna be great. I can't wait to watch from the sidelines and continue to learn from you. But for now, go to the beach, take a break. You deserve it. I'm so proud of you, and I love you.
Hey Tanti, just wanted to wish you a huge mazel tov. Tell you what you already know. You're the best. Everybody knows that. You just do an excellent job with all your work in the community, especially like the program I'm on, Tochnit Sheli. I really, really love it. So thank you so much for all your great work. You're the best.
My dear Ellen Renee, Akvel,
Every time I read or hear of your outstanding achievements, your commitment to family, to friends, and to making this world a better place is so honorable. Our families have been connected for generations, and your lifelong friendship with my daughter Marcy has allowed me to be more closely connected to you all of these years. I remember when the two of you returned home after your college graduation and their conversations and about what do we do now? Where do we fit in? What can we do? And this led to the two of you being instrumental in the formation of our Federation Young Adult Division. And that began your almost 40 years of community service to the Jewish world. May the gifts that come from meaningful giving of your skills and heart continue to enrich your life forever. And may we all go from strength to strength. Oh, and by the way, you'll always be one of my girls. I love you.
Hi, Tanti. I know from working with you at the Jewish Federation the impact that you continue to make in the Jewish community and the impact that you'll continue to make in the world.
Ellen Renee, your contributions to this city of Richmond and the Jewish community have just been amazing and a role model for us all.
For as long as I can remember, you have led the way in our family to your commitment to the community, whether you were working at Camp Hilbert, the JCC preschool, or as a lay leader. And you've done so much for everyone and for the world. But really, I want to speak about what you've done for us, our family, my children and myself specifically. When you opened the door to the value of a Jewish education, you changed our lives forever. You showed us that through your commitment to RTA, that it could make a difference in our lives, and the ownership that we have of our Judaism and who we want to be is because of that step forward for you. And I just want to say thank you, because that means everything to us. And Mazel Tov.
Hey, ER. I just want to add my 2 cents to everything that has been said about you in this wonderful tribute. You've done an unbelievable job for 4 years, 4 long years, and through very tough times. This has been an amazing ride, and you are a star. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for this community and continue to do. You've helped Daniel through a very tough 4 years as well, and all of us in this community are very grateful. I wish you the best, my dear, and please don't go far away. Love you. Thanks.
And every challenge you accepted with grace and heart. You led with pride and spread your passion to all those around you. You fought for all those that couldn't fight for themselves. And we're lucky to have you fight for us and bring us together and represent this community and our family. And I love you and watching your dreams come true, and can't wait to see what's up next. And thank you.
You've always given your soul and your heart to any organization you have taken part.
You've shown by example the importance to lead to any cause you feel our community needs.
28 years ago, you walked into RTA, to which our family became a mainstay. RTA gave our family immeasurable gifts. Who'd have thought all these years later on their board I'd still sit?
The hours you have put into JCFR have been most inspiring by far.
Through illness, pandemic, and fighting in Ukraine, your efforts have helped so many in pain.
You're never too tired or even too stressed. When the organization asks, you say yes. We love you and are so proud of the person you are. To our community, you're an incomparable star. We love you.
Love you.
She lived up to all the promise that was in her ancestors when they came to this country. It's a privilege to know such a person Ellen Renee, aren't we proud of her?
Absolutely. Absolutely. She carries on the heritage.
She does that. You live what you speak. You take care of the poor. You work with the rich. You are the people's person, and we are all so proud of you. Congratulations.
We are very proud of you. Through all of your personal and professional challenges, you have persevered. You have left the Jewish Federation and the Jewish community in a much better place. I look forward to you continuing to help the local, national, and international Jewish community in a different capacity. And yes, Daniel, I know you will definitely have her on your speed dial. I love you.
We love you.
I love you.
I'm so proud of you, and I love you.
I love you.
Love you.
We love you.
I love you.
We have a special presentation on behalf of the Federation for Ellen Renee.
Wow, I knew this was going to be hard, but that was amazing. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. This is really unbelievable. I thought I could read it without my glasses, but not with the tears. In the words of Helen Keller, the best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. Working with the Jewish community is my heart. It is essential to my being. It defines who I am and what I believe. It is about family, love, and being there for each other. These are the things that matter to me the most. I do Jewish because I see my place in the world through a Jewish lens. And tonight is a culmination of many years of learning, working, and volunteering in the Jewish world. Being president of the Jewish Community Federation of Richmond for these past 4 years has been the ultimate gift. A gift that lasted a little longer than I originally expected. but that only made it better. You have allowed me to represent you in the greater Richmond community and across the world. I have hugged Jews from Ukraine to Israel, Miami to Argentina. I have felt both proud and humbled by this amazing opportunity. It has been my greatest privilege. Every leader hopes to make a difference, to add something meaningful. I came to this job with a laundry list of ideas and plans, and then life happens. But if I were to choose just a couple of highlights, these are my top two. I wanted to grow the tent. This community belongs to all of us. We come in all colors, backgrounds, and aspirations, but we are a family, a people. We share a legacy and a destiny, a rich heritage, and a bright future. I always believed we needed to be Jewish together. Yachad lev alev, together, heart to heart, and hand in hand. For our community to thrive, we need you. Join the journey, engage in the conversation, be part of the adventure. No matter where we came from or where we live now, there is a place for all of us. Kol arevim zeh b'zeh, all Jews take care of and need one another. My most favorite is L'dor Vador. My greatest wish is to pass our culture from one generation to the next. Our children and grandchildren learn through exposure and examples. We need to role model with action. Make Jewish memories that are worth coming back to. Teach them tikkun olam. Lefum tzara agra, according to the effort is the reward. Creating opportunities and mentoring the next generation of Jewish leaders fills my heart and soul. Watching my daughters, my friends' children, and all of our children become active and engaged Jews is our community's greatest legacy. I cannot express the total joy I feel when I attend their events and get to listen to them engage. There are, thank God, many of them stepping up. Robin, Jennifer, Claire, Rebecca, Samantha, Melissa, Yulia, Tatiana, Josh, Shlomo, David, Tino, Elliot, and so many others. You and your contemporaries are taking us to the next level. You are proud Jews who are inspiring others to do more and become more. The many adults that I have had the honor to work with, young adults, are passionate, smart, and dedicated. You are our future. As Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks said, while we can remember our past, we cannot write the future. Only our children, the future of our community, can do that. I am so excited by all of you. When the Jewish people work together, we are a force. I have been blessed to work with a fantastic group of community leaders. Although COVID was an unfun and exhausting challenge, the prize was in the relationship building. Daniel and I worked on a daily basis with the CEOs and presidents of our local agencies. We came together as a real team. We leaned on each other, we showed up for each other, and because of that, we are coming out of this crazy time whole. So many other communities cannot say that. Thank you all for being our heroes and our treasured partners. The JCFR staff is a dream team. They bring their A game to work every day to lift us up, move us forward, and make us look good. For 87 years, the Federation has been the backbone and the convener of our community. We were made for this. You rise to every challenge. Here's to 87 more. The board, how lucky can you get? The wisest, most compassionate, and dedicated people in our community. You have been not only my rocks, my advisors, and my guideposts, but also my friends. I am grateful to have worked with and learned from each of you. We all came to the table with our own perspectives, but you always had the community's best interest at heart. Richmond is blessed by your talent, your time, and your treasure. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My parents not only taught me, they also inspired me. They made Jewish not simply important, but also a responsibility. Their choices shaped my choices.
I always knew I won the lottery when it came to parents. Louis, Jennifer, Rebecca, Stephanie, Josh, Alon, my sisters and their families, my huge extended family, and my friends. You are my greatest support system. Even when I get on my soapbox about anything Jewish, you listen and you cheer me on. You back me up and you give me the time and space to go all in. How blessed am I that we mostly all share this special community. Daniel, my partner and my friend. My dad would have loved you. You inspire me every single day. Your care and commitment to our people, I have no words. You have the biggest heart of anybody I know, and this has been an incredible adventure that I can't imagine having done with anyone but you. We have cried and celebrated. We had great successes and unimaginable challenges, but every day brought a new opportunity, and we were always a team. It has been an honor to stand beside you. You are truly a mensch. Thank you for doing this with me. And Amy, my lifelong friend, I am so happy to pass the gavel to you. Again, with Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, leaders are led by their vision of the future, and it is that that inspires others. And we are as great as the challenges we have the courage to undertake. You will be a wonderful president. You have the skills to do the job and the heart to give it your all. You will take us to the next level, the next rung on the ladder, and you will do it with care and grace. And my one last thank you to all of you. I am so humbled and grateful for this honor and privilege. You cannot possibly know what an amazing and incredible gift this has been. Chazak, chazak, v'nikazek. May we always go from strength to strength. We are Richmond together. Thank you.
She got me before I even got up here, man. Shalom and good evening. What a beautiful tribute to my friend, my colleague, and my partner, Ellen Renee. Thank you. I have been truly blessed to be your partner. It has been nothing less than one of my greatest gifts. We've been through a pandemic, personal health challenges, rising anti-Semitism, thousands of conversations, hundreds of solicitations, meetings, and the meetings after the meetings, interfaith vigils, advocacy, and even a hit original song. What a 4 years it has been. Since you assumed the presidency, our federation has raised over $11.5 million for the annual campaign. We have secured and deployed millions more in the forms of grants connecting our agencies to security and PPP loans. On top of that, we've raised hundreds of thousands for supplementary gifts, sending kids to camp, being there for every Jew anywhere. You launched a new security initiative, thinking before we needed it, we had to plan. And you strengthen relationships with our partners and even welcome some new ones. We have traveled overseas to Israel. We've hugged so many. And lately, we've connected virtually with almost every part of the Jewish global community. These are just a few of the accomplishments under your leadership. And while these are all outstanding achievements of our community, and deserve to be celebrated, it is the humility you brought to the role that is your greatest legacy. You never once considered anything other than what is best for the community, what is good for the Jews. Never once in the midst of difficult times did you wonder how this would affect you, how it might play for your family or legacy. Day in, day out, and far more often than I'd like to admit, late at night, you led our community with passion, compassion, dignity, and care for others. You brought people in, made them feel welcome and wanted, and inspired all of us to dig deeper, do more, and stretch just a little farther than we thought we could. Quite simply, you pushed us as a community forward, always for good. You are a gift for all of us, and we are stronger, better, and more prepared for the future because of you. And it has been my greatest honor to watch you work up close, to wrestle with the big issues, and we had quite a few, and always see you lead with wisdom, passion, and Yiddishkeit. I'm grateful for every moment we had, and am excited, yes, Louis, that these moments will not end, but simply take a little different turn as we start a new chapter in our relationship. Thank you, and I love you. Amy, I'm equally thrilled to begin our work together, and am so grateful that you will lead us for the next 2 years. Your boundless energy, and usually I'm pretty energetic, but keeping up with Amy's going to be a challenge, wealth of knowledge will be an unbelievable asset to our community. I feel like you are the right person at the right time for us, and I look forward to being your partner as we move forward. To our amazing, talented, and dedicated Jewish Federation professional team, it is a privilege to be alongside you each day as we work towards our holy mission. I've been blessed with some wonderful mentors and teachers in my life, including many of you in this room. There are a few special teachers, however, that stand out. The first is my wife, Jill, who has taught me that being part of a family means showing up, going above and beyond, stretching yourself, advocating for what you believe in, and always putting others first. I have seen her work with her patients, her speech patients firsthand, and they're simply miracles. I've seen her instill Jewish values in kids at camp in ways that we'll never know. And she's inspired future Jewish leaders in her role there and in our own sons. I'm grateful, and it is a lesson that our Federation lives every day. My other guides and teachers are my sons, Caden, Eli, and Logan, who have taught me that when the challenges are greatest, the obstacles hardest, and the count, baseball reference, is against you, when you are most fatigued, pressured, and stressed, that is when our greatest growth occurs. I can only do this job because I have each of you in my corner and as my teachers. I love you and I'm proud of each of you. It feels like our community is at that point of greatest growth. The last few years, heck, the last few months, have seen us face challenges unlike we have in a generation. 300,000 members of our Jewish family are embroiled in a war. The robust Jewish life we have built over decades in Ukraine at risk of extinction. We have daily reminders of rising anti-Semitism, with attacks on Jews and Jewish institutions, leaflets spreading hate, a global pandemic, Israel attacked physically and ideologically. Even as Israel takes steps to make peace with its Arab neighbors. Growing division, both politically and socially, threaten our Jewish unity. That will only allow us to forget that Jewish history is based on conversation, dialogue, and discussion. Locally, our agencies remain challenged by COVID and are now seeing increasing economic, demographic, and human resource pressures. Jews are seeking new ways to engage and connect, all while increasing polarization threatens our ability to be a unified community. Far too often we resort to social media memes and forget the importance of social interaction and a good, robust Jewish conversation. We worry about what is ours, see only our vision, our type of Judaism. We can too quickly forget about the Jew who is seeking a space, a connection, a deeper meaning that only community can provide. By the way, that Jew seeking more, he or she may be wearing a kippah, walking to shul on Shabbos. She may be learning about Talmud from TikTok, or find meaning at the JCC, or be married to their soulmate from another faith. They may be gay, black, Asian, or simply Jewish, because you know the food's really good. They may be passionate about Israel, and then again, they may not. What they are, and what we have to always remember, is that they are a member of our Jewish family. Forgetting that is our greatest threat. We have some amazing challenges ahead of us, but I am confident we can meet those needs through action, generosity, and dedicated effort. It won't be easy, and it won't be by working alone. Nothing we have accomplished as a community ever has been. Our community will thrive because we built an infrastructure in place 24/7, poised to respond immediately and effectively, no matter the challenge. I believe Federation, together with each of you, can continue to lead the way and help solve these problems. Our Federation is poised for growth and strength. Under Amy Nissensen's leadership and capitalizing on the amazing talent of our outstanding JCFR professional team, board, agency, and synagogue partners, we will soon unveil an exciting new strategic plan dedicated to addressing the critical issues of our time and positioning Federation and our community for a thriving future. The plan will focus on creating a flourishing Jewish community built on inclusion, engagement, connection, and security for every member of our community today and tomorrow. We will bolster our ties to global Jewish peoplehood, support and fund new ideas to engage Jews locally, and help them explore and create their own Jewish paths, rooted in our history and built for the future. We will fight anti-Semitism in all its forms and do so with strategy, care, and partnership with our entire Richmond community, because we have to recognize that hate in any form is simply unacceptable. This work, as I said, will not be easy. It will require strategy, dedication, and support. It will require Federation to grow as a convener, funder, and builder. It will require a Federation that is stronger and more robust in response to the services that our community is asking us to provide. It will force us as a Federation to explore new avenues of budgeting, personnel, fundraising, and grant making. It will take all of us showing up. This won't happen overnight, but honestly, I'm not so worried about that. Our community always shows up, time and again. Through COVID, for Israel, for Ukraine, for those in need, and for each other. We have learned that when we work together, anything is possible. Because when the times are hardest, when the challenges seem unsurmountable, that is when our growth is accelerated. May we go from strength to strength, together. It is now my distinct honor to introduce my friend, Miriam Davidow, the most recent honoree of the Neil November Distinguished Community Service Award, to present this year's award.
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Ellen Renee. We have a long history. Shalom. As last year's honoree, I'm privileged to chair the Neil November Distinguished Community Service Award Committee. The award, recently renamed in honor of the legendary Neil November, someone who stepped up and always got things done, Neil and Sarah Bell of blessed memory are looking down on our community with pride today. The past 2 years, as we all know, has been unprecedented. The pandemic created by COVID-19, vaccines that finally arrived, financial hardships, homeschooling and then return to school, civil unrest, and now a war around the globe. What a time it has been. This evening, we are thrilled to finally be together, and that is a celebration in and of itself. The selection of this award, too, has been unprecedented. In recognition of all the chaos that was wrought over the past years, the Neil November Distinguished Community Service Award Committee believed that this year special recognition was necessary, and thus the selection of an unprecedented awardee. I am grateful to the committee for its diligence and its effort. On behalf of the committee and our entire community, we are honored to present the Neil November Distinguished Community Service Award to those who stood fast to ensure that all in need continued to receive vital services as they sustained individuals, communal infrastructure, and our entire Richmond community, and did so with dignity and with care. Together, our honorees withstood the unknowns of the day, worked together, and built life-saving strategies on the fly, including communication systems, networks, and policies that literally saved lives. Together, they proved that working in support of and with one another meant that no challenge was insurmountable. This evening, I am pleased to announce that the Neil November Distinguished Community Service Award is presented to our most capable and impressive social service agencies: Beth Shalom Home Senior Living Center, Jewish Family Services, Weinstein Jewish Community Center, and the Jewish Community Federation of Richmond. It is indeed fitting that we honor our community agencies, their boards, and their professional staff for the efforts that they extended to continue to provide essential services for us and for the community at large. Just a few examples include securing vaccines for hundreds in our community, including to Jews, Muslims, Catholics, and Holocaust survivors, pivoting to telehealth and remote therapy for those in need, providing special medical oversight to allow for child care and adult care so people could return to their jobs, coordinating information in response to secure PPP loans, support those in emergency financial need, and secure safe reopening. These are just a few of the myriad of ways these agencies stepped up. Please join me for a few minutes to hear from representatives of the agencies themselves.
As chair of the Beth Shalom Board of Directors, I sure had a front row seat as to how COVID impacted this organization. I'm really proud to share, though, that every time we faced a challenge, and there were many, we grounded our response on our core mission, which is to provide quality care to people of all faiths, reflecting our Jewish traditions and values. So what did I see from my front row seat? I saw tremendous resiliency, unwavering caring, and a logical, well thought out response every time we needed to come up with a solution to a new challenge. Mo and his team showed fantastic leadership. They made the decision very early on in the pandemic to close Beth Shalom to visitors. That was done to protect our residents. The team made their own hand sanitizer. They cobbled together face shields, again, just to protect folks from this virus. The staff put their health at risk every time they came in, but they were committed to caring for our residents. The staff also made sure that folks that weren't able to see their parents, their loved ones, weren't so socially isolated. And I want to thank you, the Federation, for those iPads. That really did the trick. Finally, Mo did a great job of communicating regularly, consistently, clearly about what was going on within Beth Shalom with regard to the virus, how things were progressing, new policies put out by state agencies or the federal government, and really just helping everybody understand this virus more and encouraging us all to get vaccinated, which was so important to containing this. But it really took all of us, certainly Mo and the Beth Shalom leadership team, all the hands-on care providers there, and you, the Jewish community, to help us get through this unprecedented experience. Thanks again for all your support.
Daniel and I are honored to accept the Neil November Distinguished Community Service Award on behalf of the Jewish Community Federation of Richmond's board and professional teams. For over 87 years, the Federation has served as the backbone of the Richmond community, creating and sustaining the systems and programs that make our Jewish Richmond so special. It is our unique partnership of professional and volunteers that powers the work that we do. Neil November often spoke of the lesson that his father told him, that in order to live a rich and full life, you have to take care of your brothers and sisters in need. That is what the Federation lives by. We will continue to do the work to take care of those in need, to support those, to lift up Jewish life, and to build a stronger and more vibrant Jewish community.
We're so grateful to be honored with our social service partner agencies who over the last 2 years came together to make sure that nobody fell through the cracks, that we were there for all those in need, and we were proactive in helping our community get through the pandemic. We are so grateful to be a small part of their work, and even more grateful that they are part of our community. Thank you to each of them for letting us be part of their worlds.
Thank you. It's been a great partnership.
The spirit, mission, and work of JFS Richmond continues to repair the world one person at a time. When adversity strikes, we are there. Whether that adversity is a child struggling with mental health, elderly patients worried about how to get out of bed, or a Ukrainian family escaping war, we are there. For 173 years, JFS has innovated and evolved. This is never more true than during the pandemic. When a patient can't come to us, we go to them. Sometimes that's in person. Other times that's through telehealth or through our Jewish care line. When other providers can't meet demand and folks are told there are 50 people ahead of them on a wait list, we are there. We have an amazing staff and board who work tirelessly to transform lives, strengthen, and care for our community. And we have amazing partners like the Federation in the community who engage in this vision and who understand that this is profound because it is personal. We are grateful and humbled to continue this mission of support.
The vision is really to become what we were for the last generation, for the next generation. Whether that means new programming, upgrading the facility, outreach, whatever it is. I mean, that's really the biggest goal ahead of us is to try and meet the members with what they want and offer those, continue to offer those evolving services to the community at large. And then there are certain things that will never change about the JCC that we just want to introduce more people to.
Collectively, we say thank you and kol hakavod for a job well done. Every one of the individuals, the lay leaders, and the professionals in these dedicated agencies went above and beyond to fulfill their missions and ensure that the community continued to receive their services in spite of lockdowns and communications, altering the staffing, professional development, and direct services. We saw the agencies hard at work both day and night, on Zoom, and a lot of Zoom, and in person from home and in their offices. Without a doubt, the community was well cared for and good hands. Through their goodwill, collegiality, and professional spirit, we witnessed the success that our very survival required, and for that, we are so grateful. Because of your strength and dedication, the entire Jewish community is stronger and confident in facing any future challenges we may encounter. May I invite the representatives of the agencies to join me in the front of the room. Mo Funk from Beth Shalom, Eric Schoenfeld and Wendy Kruder, Jewish Family Services, Orly Lewis, Weinstein JCC, Ellen Renee Adams and Daniel Staffenberg for the Federation. Please join me at the front of the stage. We are pleased to present a special individualized art piece from Don Koval.
What an emotional evening. I know I'm proud to be in this Richmond Jewish community, and I hope you all are too. Community, we use that word a great deal at Federation. We use it to describe our strength, our work together, and to illustrate the great lessons of Jewish history. We know that success is built on the shoulders of those who came before us, and that we are stewards of the community for future generations. This year, Federation launched an effective governance and bylaw task force with the goal of updating our Jewish Community Federation of Richmond bylaws to continue improving the experience and effectiveness of our board. The last update was in 2007. It became clear that along with updating our bylaws, a conversation about strengthening and modernizing our existing governance structure was desperately needed. We knew that Federation's governance structures and practices were strong. However, the Federation's strategy, organizational needs, and leadership team had all changed significantly since the last review. We anticipated and found that updates and improvements would position us well for the future. The task force was guided by the following principles: provide ongoing flexibility and improve transparency with respect to governance matters. Assurance of our governance practices help us attract and engage new and diverse talent to our work, and to create a board that better reflects the rich diversity and experience of our greater Richmond community, and maximize the individual and collective contributions of our extraordinary board members by engaging every member, both inside and outside the boardroom, throughout their time of service. The recommendations of the committee are reflected in this report, including right-sizing our board and establishing a Leadership Advisory Council and LEAD, the Leadership and Engagement and Development Committee, to build a long-term leadership pipeline. I'm honored to have led this work, and am proud of how we have positioned Federation for success. I'm grateful to the members of our committee, Brian Green, Ellen Renee Adams, Charlie Shear, Claire Sosiski, Phyllis Ellenbogen, Lynn Schwartz, and Amy Nissison. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to this very large project. And thank you to Sandy Davis for all the support she gave us as well. The changes we made do mean that a few special individuals who went over and above and beyond in stewarding our community will be leaving our board to continue their work in other roles within Federation and the community. We are excited that many of them will be joining our new Leadership Council and expanded committee structure, and I'm confident they will each remain deeply involved in our Federation. Please hold your applause to the end so we can say thank you to everyone together. As I call your name, please stand. Adam Plotkin, Judith Levy, Deborah Rodman, Lynn Schwartz, Nanette Shore, Nathan Shore, Jim Weinberg, Irv Blank, Stuart Siegel, Mark Sosiski, David Galpern, Ashley Noel, Rick Ehrenstein, and Robin Jackson. Thank you all for your continued service. And as immediate past president of the Federation, and my last time making this presentation, I have the honor of chairing the nominating committee. The members of our committee were Amy Nissison, Lynn Schwartz, Neil Kessler, Helen Horowitz, Robin Galpern, Stephen Skase, Samantha Winkleman, and Ellen Renee Adams. I'm pleased to report to you the slate of officers and board of directors submitted for consideration by the nominating committee. The officers, President Amy Nissison, which if you hadn't noticed, she's the third woman in line, immediate line of presidents. Vice President Matt Grossman, Secretary Treasurer Howard Goldfein, immediate past president and dear friend Ellen Renee Adams. Members of the Executive Committee, Chair of the Rabbinic Council, Rabbi Scott Nagel, Allocations Chair, Josh Goldberg, JCRC Chair, Amy Melnick-Scharf, FRD Chair, Richard Tallhammer. Nominated board members, Phyllis Ellenbogen, Shelley Golden, Seth Kaplan, Dan Siegel, Claire Sosiski, Susie Adolph, and Jesse Feld, representing the Richmond Jewish Foundation. Renewing board members, Sylvia Farbstein, Seth Feibelman, Brian Green, Helen Griffin, Hetty Lapkin, Susan Myers, Josh Peck, Sam Revinson, Charlie Shear, Graham Sheridan, Rob Slotnick, Elliot Warsoff, Franklin Wolf, and Melissa Zinder. Is there a motion from the floor to accept the slate as submitted? Is there a second? All in favor? And in the manner of our last president, abstentions, no votes. Thank you. The motion passes. Thank you. And I'd like to welcome our past president, Neil Kessler, to install our...
Would everyone whose names were just mentioned as being members of the board and officers please rise? Thank you. Okay. Throughout your term in office, each of you as board members and officers of this federation will be called upon to set direction and make policy decisions to support our community in good times and bad, and to act with Jewish values to ensure that our vital mission is met. Your decisions will have an enormous impact on building and strengthening this community for today and tomorrow. May you find the courage to follow your convictions while realizing the big picture of how those decisions will affect the greater good of our community. With the support of the members in attendance at this annual meeting, I hereby install you as members of the Federation Board of Directors and as officers of the Federation, and wish you much strength and wisdom. Thank you and congratulations. So now it is with great pride that I have been given the honor of introducing to you the next president of the Jewish Community Federation of Richmond, Amy Nissison. When Amy called me to ask if I would introduce her at tonight's meeting, I quickly responded that I would, and I congratulated her on being selected for this position. But after the call, I realized that I should have congratulated the Federation for having the foresight and wisdom to have selected Amy as our next president. Okay. As you've heard, Amy is the Federation's Energizer Bunny. Indeed, she is actually the Richmond Region's Energizer Bunny. There's nothing that Amy cannot do, and there's almost nothing that she has not done in the Richmond philanthropic, nonprofit community, juggling work, family, and health responsibilities and challenges along the way. Amy has been called on by many large, small, influential, and substantial philanthropic organizations, including the Mary Morton Parsons Foundation, to advise and guide them through their board governance, financial development, strategic planning, and other matters, and she has earned a well-deserved reputation as being a well-organized, thorough, and empathetic can-do consultant whose accomplishments have been universally applauded. In fact, in my travels over the years in the Richmond philanthropic nonprofit community, I've often been asked if I know Amy, and when I responded yes, I've had to listen to unending compliments and testimonials from them describing how she had assisted their organizations to overcome and survive through sensitive and existential issues through common sense solutions in a manner that was not threatening to their leadership or members. The Richmond Federation certainly does not have any sensitive or existential issues to resolve or contend with, but Amy's skills will not be wasted, and we can all be comforted in knowing that we have a leader whose skills will guide us if any such issues do arise. Amy's background is not just in the philanthropic arena. Over the years, she has also held positions in the business and political worlds. I invite you to Google Amy's work website at Amy Nissison Consulting. It's a good ad for you.
I'll pay you later.
For a more complete review of Amy's credentials, her business and political experiences and acumen, combined with her nonprofit assignments, provide her with insights that many nonprofit consultants do not possess. In all instances, Amy is unassuming and does not brag about her accomplishments. In fact, the only things I've heard Amy brag about are David, her husband of 39 years, her son David, and daughter, her son Daniel. Thank you, okay. And daughter-in-law Julie, and her daughter Stacy and son-in-law Brian, and the gems of her life, her 3 grandchildren, Tabor, Robbie, and Ella. The Federation is indeed fortunate to have Amy as its next president, and without further ado, I present to you the Federation's incoming president, Amy Nissison.
What a meaningful and special night, Ellen Renee, my friend. Thank you. Not just for what you have done to support the community over the last few years, but what I know you will continue to do to support and enhance Jewish life going forward. So many of us in this room have been touched by your humility, your hard work, and care for every member of our community. For that, we are all grateful. It is such an honor to follow you as president. I only hope I can be as present and effective as you have been. You and I have known each other since birth, but have really forged our friendship around our love of the Jewish community, our desire to give back in an impactful way, and our passion for the work of the Federation. What most don't know is that you were the first person to solicit me for my Federation gift when I moved to Richmond in 1983. During that solicitation, our conversation was not about the amount of money I was able to give, but the opportunity to be more involved. Suffice to say that conversation was a long time ago, but nonetheless, it was a clear message about what the Richmond Federation has always been about, helping each of us along our Jewish journey. I am grateful that our journeys have been so intertwined. Volunteers' roles are never solo endeavors. They require teams to be effective, and that is where my close friends, Nanette and Nathan Shore and Jill and Howard Goldfine, have inspired me. Each of you have encouraged and supported my involvement in the Federation. Thank you. I think it was on my third mission to Israel with Sam and Michelle Asher, along with the Shores and Goldfines, that I knew I wanted to pour my energy and passion into the Federation. It was later, on a later trip to Argentina with Ellen Renee and Daniel, that I decided that I would one day be standing here as president. Golda Meir stated, "Whatever is accomplished in this country, Israel, was accomplished collectively." That I am standing here today is one of those collective accomplishments. My Jewish path has been guided by our community every step of the way. My parents instilled in me the sparks of Judaism, but it was our community that lit the flame. The Weinstein JCC raised me and my kids and was my Jewish living room. Jewish Women International taught me leadership and the value of trusted friends. JFS and Beth Shalom have been there for my family, and I have celebrated so many simchas at synagogues across our community, I have lost count. I learned early on that community is a verb. Community requires action, investment, and continuous nurturing and maintenance. It requires each of us to show up in whatever way we can. It requires us to work together through disagreement, challenge, and joy to make space at the communal table for everyone. As my tenure as president of Federation begins, we stand at an exciting crossroads in American Jewish history. Jews are looking to connect with Jewish life in growing numbers, but they are looking for engagement in new, non-traditional, and different ways. It leads us to think about some challenging questions. How do we stay connected to our history and tradition? How do we teach and share Jewish memories that bind us together? How do we learn and honor that history while still attracting those looking for something different? How do we fight against anti-Semitism to secure our community while keeping our doors open and welcoming? How do we build a federation, the backbone of our global and local Jewish community, whose Seder table is open and exclusive? These are our challenges ahead, and we've got to find answers to these questions. As my term as president begins, I ask that you join our efforts to build on the strength of our history and move forward to build a future where Jewish community thrives locally, in Israel, and throughout the world. As I said at the beginning, Jewish life requires action, and the same is true for Federation and our partners. Our success begins with you, your generous support, your active participation, and your ideas and actions. Your willingness to be an ambassador of good, to get someone else connected and involved, to do what Ellen Renee did for me, to share the joy of community. That is what will determine our success, and I look forward to working with our board and professional team to make that happen. working with Daniel in partnership to continue the collaborative work you have done with the local agencies and to begin implementation of our first strategic plan, these are my main priorities at the beginning. I want to thank my family, my children, Daniel, Julie, Stacy, Brian, and my sister and brother-in-law, Mindy and Art, for their past, present, and future support. I am so happy to have you here tonight. David, you are an incredible partner, and I value your support. I know that you share my passion and involvement, and I look forward to all that is to come over the next few years. Thanks again to everyone for the honor of serving as your Federation President. I am humbled, inspired, and excited to work together for our amazing community. May we go together in strength, not for the community of today, but for the generations to come. It is now my honor to bring the 87th annual meeting to a close. Thank you all for joining me tonight and for all you do to support our community. Shalom.